again. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, parents, family, and faculty. My name is Vought, and I have had the honor and pleasure of serving as the Associate Student Body President for the 2014 school year. Upon becoming ASB President, I knew that when graduation came, I would be giving this speech. That seemed to be the only hitch in the job description. I knew I could do all the other stuff, but the speech is what scared me. I don't think a day has gone by where I haven't thought about it, or it hasn't crossed my mind. What would I say? Would I try to be original? Would it sound cliche? What would my classmates want me to say? What would the parents want to hear? All of these things flooding my mind for the last few weeks, it's all been so overwhelming. But as I thought about it, I kept coming back to one question. One thought that I'm sure all my fellow classmates have asked themselves at one time or another over these last 4 years. It's a question I used to ask myself every day, and it is, what am I really learning? What does this all really mean? All of the subjects that we've studied, all the math, the science, the history, what has it taught me? And I think I now know the answer. What I've learned is something far more universal and far more valuable. I've learned how to fail. I'm going to say that again. I've learned how to fail. I know what you're all saying right now. What do you mean you've learned how to fail? Isn't that what you've been trying to avoid for the last 4 years? And I understand. We all try to avoid failure, but coming into high school, I had a profound fear of failure. Anything I deemed lower than my preset standards came as an embarrassment to me. I would blush, I'd put my head down if I ever so much as got a B- on a math test. But just as I think we've all learned something over these 4 years regarding failure, let me explain what it has taught me, for I feel that in a small way, perhaps, it can relate to everyone here. I can't really say when this idea really hit me, but I do believe it has been a long, laborious learning process. Whether it be through bombing one of Miss Barber's infamous calculus tests, or an organizational error as president that once again incurred the wrath of Mr. Brogdon, or shanking a 9-iron after a perfect drive coming down number 13. Some of you know what I mean. I learned that failure isn't permanent. Now, I'm not advocating becoming complacent with failure. I am not telling next year's class to go fail Mr. Silva's history final and tell him, but Aaron at graduation said that I didn't really fail it. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. That would be bad. Don't do that. That's not good. What I am trying to say is this. Throughout our high school experience, we've learned that we get much more value out of our failures than we do out of our successes. It's all too easy to become satisfied with being good, and it's equally easy to become lazy with success. But failure tells us something. Failure gives us that slap in the face, that kick in the butt, that says, hey, I've got to change something. It's what drives me. It's made me hungry to succeed. For me, failure has become just the harmless negative reinforcement my brain needs to make me stop and think for just a minute. Because it is relatively harmless, isn't it? I can't think of a single case where anyone has actually been physically injured from failing a test, or shanking a 9-iron, or being a little disorganized now and again, even though we'd like to think that there has been. So let me put it in one more way. We shouldn't fear failure. It happens to all of us. As much as we'd like to grovel in self-pity for our failures, it would be somewhat selfish to do so, because we've all been there and we've all done that. Failure will come at some point, and so when it does, I say to my classmates behind me, embrace it. Take it for all that it's worth, because where a failure learned from can put you ahead, a failure forgotten will most definitely leave you behind. To think that our lives will turn out precisely the way that we imagine without a hitch along the way is a foolish thought. Good things will happen, and bad things will happen. And in the end, I know that it will all be okay. With that in mind, as we move into this next chapter of our lives, I have to admit that I will miss this place. I'm really going to miss all the little things that I've taken for granted over the past 4 years. I'm going to miss all those frustrating times studying for tests, all those long Fridays that I thought would never end. I'm going to miss all of the people, all of my teachers that I've grown so close to, and all of my fellow classmates that have shown me so much friendship and so much love for the last 4 years. I'm going to miss all of those little triumphs that I've made, because all of these little failures and little triumphs have made me who I am today. They've made all of us who we are. They've grown us up. Pleasant Valley High School has been my second home, and I can't thank all of the teachers and all of my fellow classmates enough for all that they've taught me. The lessons that I've learned will be invaluable in the coming decades of my life. Congratulations, class of 2014, and thank you all.